and welcome to Rathods IAS. Today in this session, we are going to see current affairs of 2nd May 2024. So let's get started. So here I am taking Delhi edition of Hindu and we are going to pick out the important articles from our examination point of view. So first you need to know the syllabus and next one is previous questions as usual. This is the thing I am saying daily. So I have to say this because when you repeatedly listen that, then you will be remembering, okay, so that you will be at least starting focus on that previous questions and as well as your UPSC syllabus. And one more thing is, here we are started mentoring students by IAS officers, IRS officers and IFS officers. So we have mentors who cleared examination. So one of our mentor is Revaya sir, and he is working as IAS officer in Maharashtra cadre, and his one is Abhishek sir and Shivang Rastogi sir. So they are like IRS officers from Assam. And next one is IFS officer. Okay, her name is Lavanya ma'am. She got All India rank 65 in 2022. So here, yes, today there is class by Lavanya ma'am, and she is giving tips, okay, like how to clear prelims, and she is explaining like taking question paper of 2022 and 2023 prelims paper. And today we have classes 6:30 p.m. and I will try to upload that class in YouTube tomorrow. Okay, so that's the thing I want to share. So here, if you are joining offline foundation course or live online foundation course in Rathods IAS, yes, we are providing that facility of mentoring students directly by the toppers, so that they will be giving you like right guidance, and also they will be understanding your mistakes, where you are going wrong, and they will be understanding your problems, and they will be giving a right solution to clear this examination. So this facility is not available in any other institutes, even in Delhi also. You can check with that. So if you want to take offline or online foundation course for UPSC CSC, so this Rathods IAS Academy is the right choice. Okay, so if you want to contact us, you can call us on this number 8074765513. Okay, so with proof we are going to provide that class in YouTube tomorrow, and already we posted one class of IFS ma'am she took. Okay. Yes, now let us see the first article, which is important from our prelims and mains point of view. So title says April's gross GST takings power past rupees 2.1 lakh crore. So this article is talking about GST collections. So even though we came up with this GST in 2017 in India, yes, many a times the question had been asked in recent past of UPSC. So we can't ignore this because it is very important topic and it is very important tax reform we came up in our country. So let me give you dimensions regarding this topic. So this article is talking about goods and services tax. So this topic is important from your GS paper 3 under economy. So here you have to know like some facts, like when this GST came into existence from 2017. So which is that act? You have to know that GST Act of 2017. And you have to see like what is this GST compensation also. So what is this GST compensation? And you have to see what is this GST council. And most probably you can expect question from this GST council, because this GST council, it is a constitutional body. Okay. And here you have to see members and meetings, etc. So actually this GST, it is an example of indirect tax. Okay, it is indirect tax. So don't confuse with this direct or indirect tax. It is example of indirect tax. So here we can connect this topic with one important chapter of your economy. This is called as taxation chapter. And this taxation, we have two types of taxes. Like we have direct taxes and we have indirect taxes. So direct taxes, we have examples like income tax, personal income tax, that is IT. Next one is like gift tax, corporate tax, okay, etc. And in indirect tax, we have one important example, that is goods and services tax. And this goods and services tax is also called as one nation, one tax. Okay, what is this? One nation, one tax system. So in this GST, again we have different types. So what are those? We have SGST, that is state GST, CGST, central GST, and IGST, integrated GST. So you have to see, and even you have to see like what is the percentage of GST which is levied in which different sectors. For example, in education we have 18%, and this GST is seen highly in news because there is high percentage of GST slab on like online gaming and as well as betting, gambling, etc. So because of this year this GST is seen highly in news. So there is a high probability of getting question in your prelims regarding this GST and its slabs. Okay, and from mains point of view you have to see like other dimensions. So what is the outcome of GST? And I have to see like which are the items excluded from this GST, and you have to see why they have been excluded and how this GST is affecting federalism. What is the impact of GST on federalism? Like here you have to see positive and negative impact. Clear? And apart from this, you have to see what are the challenges or issues of this GST. So all these are very important things. Clear? This is from your mains point of view. So whatever the ideas or dimensions that I gave, so these are like prelims point of view. Okay, so now let us move on to another topic. So next topic here is Supreme Court rejects plea for allocating spectrum without auction. So actually this article is talking about spectrum. So this spectrum word which is related to, if you see this image, you might be getting some idea. So even if you are not knowing about this spectrum, but I will be saying about that, don't worry. So if you see this image, you will be seeing like they say something related to telecom, television, network, etc. Right? Yes, exactly. So this spectrum is related to telecom because I am taking in view like you are a beginner, you know nothing. Okay, so from that level I am teaching so that you can understand current affairs better. Because one important problem will be faced by many aspirants is, so they start newspaper now after starting your UPSC preparation. Yes or no? Will you agree with me? So many students, they don't have like habit of reading newspaper. So the bare fact was like even I was not like a person who read newspaper because I came from a middle class family, and that too I am raised by a single parent. I lost my father in my childhood. So during when I have my father, so we used to have newspaper, but after that we don't have paper. So only I used to watch news or like TV channel in news, like whenever there is any band or any holidays, for that only I used to watch. So this is the bare reality of many students that I know. So whenever they start reading newspaper, when they decided to give the civil services examination, so they don't understand anything. Yes or no? So is you belongs to that category? Like if you are facing the similar kind of problems that I used to face. So because of this, I want to teach every from basic, and even though if you know that, if you are getting bored, so think that this explanation will be helpful for revising of your topics. That's it. So keep this in your mind and don't get bored. Yes. Now let us see this article in detail. So here the keywords is spectrum, and here if you see title, there is Supreme Court. Why Supreme Court is included in this spectrum? So this is again one question. So if you want to know the background of this article, so this background is related to 2G scam. So have you heard about this 2G scam? Okay, so this 2G scam came into picture, and after that, okay, let us take this slide. So actually what happened? 2G scam happened. 2G scam, it is regarding allocating spectrum. So in this 2G scam, what happened? About 112, I think 112 only, I will check with this number. So around 112 or like 122. So I am confused with this. Just a minute. I will let it clarified. Okay, it is 122. Okay, so under this 2G scam, around 122 telecom industries, they got license for the spectrum. And in that spectrum, they didn't went for auction. So they gave license like first come first basis. On this first come first basis, here they got the license. And because of this, what happened? It led to loss to telecom industry. So finally, this is called as 2G scam case, and this went to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court gave a judgment. So what is that judgment? We should not provide or we should not allocate spectrum to these telecom industry based on first come first serve basis. So we have to go for auction. So based on this competitive auction only, we can go for allocating of this spectrum. So this is the thing which is very much clear by Supreme Court in this 2G scam case. So why it is in news in the present context? So why it is in news? Because so there are some, what happened? So the registrar, they found that, okay, they want to give or they want to allocate spectrum with this administrative allocation without going for this auction. So here central government wants to allow administrative allocation of spectrum rather than auction, and it was the request made by central government to Supreme Court, give me permission so that I can allocate spectrum without auction. So this plea or this petition of central government has been rejected by Supreme Court. Clear? Because already Supreme Court had made clear that we have to go for only auction, not for giving anyone license of the spectrum without auctions. So I am not going to take this, I am not going to allow it, I am not going to give the permission to central government. So this is as simple. Understood? Yes, now here we have to understand what is this meaning of spectrum and what is this 2G scam case and what is the Supreme Court judgment in detail. I hope it is clear. So if you are understanding the things, so please click the like button. Don't forget to hit the like button or to subscribe Rathods IAS Academy if you are understanding the things. Yes, now let us go to this article in detail. Let us see why it is in news. So Supreme Court declined. Decline means nothing but rejected to receive an application by central government to allow administrative allocation of spectrum. So now Supreme Court said that no, I am not going to take this case. I am already very much busy. So in this case, I already gave the judgment in 2G spectrum case. Go back and see that judgment. I am not going to take this case anymore. So this was made very much clear by Supreme Court. Yes, you are understanding the things, right? Yes, now let us see some more important details. So now what happened here? The union government has moved an application for certain class of spectrum to be allocated to administrative process instead of auctions. So instead of auctions, we can allocate the spectrum by this administrative process. So this is the petition which made by our central government. So this development comes after court in 2012. So actually in 2012, this 2G scam case, so in that case, Supreme Court cancelled license of 122 telecom industries who got license for this 2G spectrum. Okay. So this spectrum which is considered as a very scarce resource. So why there is a need of auction? So auction is nothing but, so people they will be coming together and they will be quoting their price. Okay, so that is normally seen in this mutual funds, right? Yes, so actually Supreme Court which is considered this spectrum as a scarce natural resource. So here, because of this, we can allocate them only through fair and impartial process of auction. So we can't give the discretionary power to central government. So an administrative allocation would mean that government will have final say in deciding procedure of selecting operators. So here what it is saying that central government is saying that give permission, we can go for administrative allocation. So what is the meaning of this administrative allocation? That means it is a discretionary power of central government to decide to which telecom company they are going to give which spectrum. So because of this, it is not following this thing, that is fair and impartial process. So whenever there is a power or discretionary power which is given to central government, so we are not enjoying this free and impartial allocation process, right? It is violating that. So that Supreme Court said that no, we are not going to do this. We are not going to accept this. Now let us see what is a spectrum. Spectrum is also called as airwaves. So now it is very simple, right, to understand what is spectrum. Spectrum is also called as airwaves. So airwaves are nothing but radio frequencies within electromagnetic spectrum. So in that spectrum, they can carry information wirelessly. For example, now we have 5G spectrum. Yes or no? Earlier we used to have 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, and future we may also get like 6G, 7G, like that. So here government manages and allocates spectrum to companies or sectors for their use. So here government auctions, it is a fixed amount of spectrum within a specified band that to be used by operators for providing communication services to consumers. For example, in India, the largest telecom company is Jio, right? So Jio is providing 5G, and not only first Jio started providing 5G, and later on other telecom companies like even Airtel started providing this 5G, right? So this is the meaning of like what is a spectrum and what is the government auction and what is this administrative power, etc. All the things I have cleared. And now let us see what is this 2G spectrum scam verdict. So first, actually this case it had been originated in 2008. So in 2008 there was some allegation like 2G spectrum allocation scam is said to have originated in 2008 when government sold 2G licenses to 122 companies on first come first serve basis. Okay, so in its charge sheet here it filed, when this charge sheet had been filed in April 2011. So in April 2011 the charge sheet has been filed. So here CBI alleged that there was a loss of rupees 30,984 crores to exchequer as a result of discrepancies. So because of this allocation basis which is based on this administrative allocation, so there was huge losses to this exchequer. So here because of this, here this verdict which said that, so for competitive actions we can go, okay, so it is the only route to allocate spectrum, we can't go for administrative allocations. Okay, so if further, it also further emphasizes that the burden lies on the state to ensure non-discriminatory method of auction. So it is responsibility of government to ensure free and fair. Okay, so that is the thing which mainly said here in this article. And I hope it is very much clear, right? Yes, now let us move on to next topic. So that's all. These two are important articles from this front page. And there is nothing much important in like this city page, and in states pages I saw some important articles. Let us see those articles. Yes, it is page number 5. So in this page number 5 there are important articles. There are 2 articles. So first let us see ISRO article. Title says ISRO finds proof of enhanced possibility of water ice in polar craters of the moon. So what are the keywords? Keyword here is water ice. Next one is ISRO here, and next one is polar craters. So here we have to see all these 3 important things. And let us see the dimensions first. So whenever there is any launch by ISRO, or NASA or JAXA or European Space Agency, any other space agency of developed countries, it is very important. So you have to know what are those missions. At least you have to know, like, they are exploring what are the important features or significance. So this article is talking about ISRO. So because of successful launches of space, like we have Aditya L1, we have Chandrayaan 3, and even we are encouraging private sector in this space arena, etc. So there is a high chance of getting question in your prelims 2024 regarding this ISRO, like some important facts. So this is the first area you have to focus. And this one is, this article, it is talking about presence of water ice. Okay, where? On moon. Water ice on moon. So this is revealed by which mission of ISRO? That is Chandrayaan 1 itself. So Chandrayaan 1 itself revealed that yes, there may be presence of water on the surface of moon. So here in this context you have to see like which are the important moon missions. Okay, moon successful missions of India and as well as other countries. It is very important. You have to do some research here. And apart from that, it said like on polar crater. So what is this polar crater is about? So have you heard this word crater? Crater means nothing but, for example, we have a volcano. What happened here? We have magma and this is vent through which magma will come out, and volcano burst happened. And during this burst, whenever there is a high pressure and whenever the gas which is coming out at high pressure, so it will be blasting its tip. So now it is forming like this. So this part is called as crater. So whenever water which is filled, okay, whenever there is water which is filled here, and now we are calling it as a crater lake. So in India also we have this crater lake. For example, we have Lunar Lake, L-O-N-A-R-L-A-K. Lunar Lake is an example of crater lake. So actually this article is saying that on the surface of moon, let us take this as surface of moon. On the surface of moon we have craters. So in these craters water had been converted into ice. So we are calling it as water ice. And one more word here used is polar. That means, as you know, like we have North Pole and we have South Pole. So in the same way, even in this moon also we have North Pole and South Pole. So in this polar regions, whatever the craters are there, so in these craters there is a presence of water ice. So this is the thing which mainly said. So I covered most of the concepts here. Now let us see what is the study is talking about. Okay, so this article you can use in your mains, in your essay, from success of our space missions like that. And also you can expect questions regarding moon missions because of success of Chandrayaan 3 this year. Okay, now let us see this article in detail. So if you see why it is in news, what is the present context? So recently a study by Indian space scientists. So this study which has found evidence of enhanced possibility of water ice presence in polar craters. So here already Chandrayaan 1 released the data regarding the presence of water, but this study which had been done extensively, and they found that in these polar craters there is a possibility of presence of water ice on this moon surface. So if you see the details, it says that this study which suggests that the amount of subsurface ice in the first couple of meters is about 5 to 8 times larger than one on the surface in the both poles. So actually what happened here is, so the study which had been done extensively based on the data which is given by this Chandrayaan 1 mission. So this study says that the amount of subsurface ice, that means this is surface and below this surface whenever there is ice present, then that is called as subsurface ice. So this subsurface ice in the first couple of meters is about 5 to 8 times larger than the surface in the both poles. So compared to that of these poles, subsurface area we are having more ice. So if you take scenario of Earth, so this is North Pole and this is South Pole, where we can see like ice presence, right? We can see ice presence in this polar region during this North Pole and South Pole, and normally in this tropical region we are not having this ice. Yes or no? Only in this third polar world like Himalayas we are having ice, but unless and until on the continents you are not seeing much ice in these tropical areas. But it is not in the case of Moon here. So Moon, they are having more subsurface ice compared to that of ice in this polar region. And whenever we are going for drilling on the Moon to sample or to excavate that ice, they found that primordial for future missions and long-term human presence is very much required to do that. And this study which also suggests that there is also extent of water ice in northern pole region is twice than the southern pole region. Okay, so compared to that of South Pole, in North Pole they are having more amount of ice on the Moon. And next one is this study which also confirms the hypothesis that the primary source of this subsurface water ice in the lunar poles is because of gassing, outgassing during volcanism. So because of this volcanism, that will lead to release of gases, release of magma, etc. So because of this events which are happening during these poles, that is one important reason for the formation of this subsurface water ice. Okay, so which happened in this Imbrian period, that is very old times. And the results also conclude that distribution of water ice is likely governed by mere volcanism and also preferential impact catering. So because of this volcano burst, as I said, like there will be formation of craters, right? So in these craters there is filling of water and that is forming like subsurface ice or like ice in this polar region. So this is the thing which mainly said in this study. I hope you understood this concept, right? Yes, now let us move on to next topic. It is about IIA releases video of Moon occulting. So here the keyword is occulting. Occulting means nothing but hiding. Okay, for example, here there is a star, but whenever there is a movement or revolution of this Moon is happening, it is coming here. So that what happened, there is occulting, hiding of that star is happening. That star name is Antares. So here how can you get a question in your prelims? So recently Antares is seen in news, what it is. Like they can say like meteoroid or asteroid or like star, like that. So this Antares, it is a star. It is like a brightest star even. Okay, so this is very, very important. And we are going to see this topic. And this topic is important from your prelims only. You can't get any mains based question here. Okay, now let us see the notes of this topic. So why it is in news? Bangalore based Indian Institute of Astrophysics, that is IIA, has filmed the passing of Moon in front of Antares. It is a very bright red star. So the Moon passed in front of Antares on April 27th and it is leading to hiding for roughly 40 minutes. For roughly 40 minutes, Moon hided this star. Okay, so this event which is visible only from southern India. So while moving of Moon in its orbit, roughly once in a month, Moon will be occasionally occlude or hide the bright stars that are behind. Okay, and even sometimes planets also can be occluded by this Moon. So this happens now and then for a star Antares. Antares is also called as Jesta. Okay, and it is the brightest star in this constellation of Scorpius. It is very important. Okay, so now let us see some facts regarding the star Antares. Antares, it is a supergiant star, that too in red color, red supergiant star in the constellation of Scorpius, and it is like 15th brightest star in our night sky. So in our night sky, so it is the 15th brightest star and is located in the constellation's heart and it is visible in the northern hemisphere of 63 degrees north latitude. And this one is this Antares is about 600 light years from the earth and it is having the diameter which is 700 times more compared to that of sun. So it is like the size will be like more compared to that of our sun. So it's also like 10,000 times more luminous. It is releasing more amount of light compared to the sun, and it is not very hot because it is a red giant and it's like a old star that has run out of hydrogen and helium fuel in its core. So this is the reason, even though it is bigger compared to the sun, and it is also releasing more amount of light compared to sun, this is running out of hydrogen and helium fuel, so that it is releasing less amount of heat. On surface of sun it will be like more than 10,000 degrees centigrade, but on the surface of this star it is around 6,000 degrees centigrade. Okay, so that is the thing which mainly said. Yes, now let us see next topic. It is about sea also rises. India must collaborate with Indian Ocean countries for data on warming. So actually, like we are facing heat waves. We are experiencing this heat waves, that is increasing of temperature, not only on land but also in water. So this article is taking stand on increasing of heat waves. Okay, it is talking about increasing of heat waves, especially marine heat waves, and what is the negative impact. And it is also talking like what all the measures can be taken. And this topic is important from your environment and ecology point of view. Clear? Yes, now let us see this article in detail. So here India may be roiling in heat waves, but possibility of munificent monsoon. Here recently IMD and as well as private agency like SkyMet, which came up with monsoon prediction, and they said we are going to have normal monsoon this year. So this is like a small relief for the people, because last year we have El Nino, so no proper rainfall, increasing of dryness everywhere, and no proper rainfall, and water deficiency, water crisis, and also like increasing of drought. There is less agricultural productivity, even negative impact on wheat production in India this year. So here this prediction of IMD said that we are going to have normal monsoon this year. So this is a psychological relief for people. But we should not be having that much relief, because another report or another study by scientists at IIT Tropical Meteorology, Pune and international institutions, they came up with one more forecast based on expected global carbon emission trend. And because of increasing of this global carbon emissions, they are having impact on Indian Ocean. So this report, they report that Indian Ocean warmed 1.2 degrees centigrade, and that is going to likely heat up 1.7 to 3.8 degrees centigrade from 2020 to 2100. So by this time here there will be increasing of temperature of oceans. So this study also warned like we are going to have marine heat waves. So marine heat waves and their counterparts in sea, they are linked to rapid formation of cyclones, because for the formation of cyclones we need to satisfy some conditions. So first one is temperature should be about 27 degrees centigrade or 27 degrees centigrade. Okay, more or less we can't, if there is less than 27 degrees, so it is not like a suitable condition. But if it is 27 or more than 27, yes, we can see like formation of the cyclones. Okay, and they are likely to increase tenfold from the current average of 20 days per year to 220 to 250 days per year. Okay, so that is a thing that is going to happen. So because of this increasing of temperature of ocean surface due to this marine heat waves, that will leads to increasing of formation of cyclones. So as you all know that this cyclone is a disaster, and you will be studying about the cyclones in disaster management, right? So this will push the tropical Indian Ocean into near permanent heat wave state. So because of this increasing of ocean temperature, what will happen? So I will tell you one flow chart. If you want, you can draw that as well. That will be very important. So whenever there is increasing of ocean temperature, so there is increasing of ocean temperature, that will leads to increasing of sea water temperature, especially surface water temperature. And second condition will be there will be increasing of carbon dioxide absorption in the water. So whenever there is increased carbon dioxide absorption in the water, that will leads to increasing of ocean acidification. So ocean acidification is not a good thing. So it will causes negative impact on biodiversity, and especially this ocean acidification is one of the important reason for increasing of coral bleaching. And even now we are in this fourth phase of mass coral destruction, right? So it is because of this ocean acidification, again that is linked to increasing of ocean temperature and as well as global warming and marine heat waves. So understanding the things or connecting the things here, yes, right? Yeah, that is the thing which is mainly said here. And because of this, what happened? It is also vulnerable to this fishing sector. And as you all know that India is having a very long coastline and there are many states they are sharing the coastline. So most of the people in these coastal areas, they will be depending on this fisheries sector. So because of this increasing of sea level, because of this increasing of ocean temperature or ocean acidification, that will having the negative impact on this fisheries sector. Because fisheries sector is providing even protein to the people. Because if you want to take 1 kg of mutton, okay, that is a meat of like goat or sheep, it will be around 1000 rupees or 800 to 1000 rupees. If you take chicken, it is like 200 to 300 rupees. And if you are taking fish, it is less. It will be around 70 rupees to 120 rupees per kg. So people who want their protein, who want to take the non-veg, so if they are not having that much money, that much affordable, then they will be going for taking of fish. Okay, so we are also that category only. Yes, and next one is the heating of the ocean would not be merely confined to surface, but actually because of this heat waves, there is also the temperature which is increasing from the inside as well. And whenever we are taking like measuring of this temperature, so from surface till 2000 meters, there is increasing of thermal temperature of ocean, and now it is increasing at a rate of 4.5 zetajoules, but in future that may increase it to 16 to 22 zetajoules. So this zetajoule, it is nothing but it is billion to trillion joules. Okay, so because of this we are going to have like many negative consequences. Yes, so here because of this negative consequence of warming, Indian Ocean extended very much into mainland India with the frequency of severe cyclones rising, and monsoon is becoming more erratic and uneven with a very long spells of drought, and even we can see like increasing of intensity of rain, that is intensity of rain will be very high, because whenever there is increasing of surface temperature, that will leads to more evaporation. So whenever there is more heat, the holding capacity of clouds will be high, so that more rainfall, more intense rainfall, sometimes cloud burst, and that will leads to flooding. Okay, so this will be the negative consequences. So all these negative consequences, they are linked to global warming. So what are the sources of this global warming? We are using fossil fuels like coal, diesel, petrol, etc. And next one is we are also like increasing of vehicle usage, less utilization of public vehicles or public transportation system. So it is one important cause. So because of this, as you all know, India is sharing boundary with Indian Ocean, and India is like a big brother in this Indian Ocean, and in this context, India needs to form a collaborative association with the countries which are sharing boundary with this Indian Ocean, and we have to invest on data sharing or information gathering so that we can come with proper predictions, proper projections, and we can develop proper infrastructure to decrease or to minimize the impact. Okay, And your homework today is to do some research and find which are the countries sharing boundary with this Indian Ocean. So from here also you can expect a prelims based question. Clear? Yes. Now let us move on to next topic. Let us move on to our page. So this is our editorial page. So here this is an article which is talking about the services story. It is talking about India's intangible exports growth faces risk that warrant nuanced response. So actually this article is talking about increasing of our exports, that to intangible exports, but it is saying like there are some risk. So here we have to do some research on this topic, and I will be telling you about this topic in tomorrow's class for sure. Okay, next topic it is about the wrong way to fight inequality. So this article is talking about rise of billionaire Raj report, and I did this topic in detail in our earlier classes, so I am not going to take this article. And let us see next one, that is an animal protection bill that must be moved in June. So here this article is talking about prevention of cruelty against animals act, and this topic is at most important. And actually you have to see like why we have to come up with act. Why we have to come up with act, you have to think that thing first. So we have constitution in our country. Okay, Constitution of India. So this Constitution of India is not only protecting humans, but even there are some constitutional provisions which are talking about animals and animals' rights. Okay, animals and their rights. So here it is the responsibility of legislature to make laws. And not only making laws is important, but even we have to amend that which are to suitable the present needs. So based on our present needs, we have to make or changes. We have to amend those laws. Okay. So this is the work of legislature. So actually we came up with this Prevention of Cruelty Against Animals Act long ago. But we are talking to come up with some changes, but we are not doing that. So this article says that we have to bring changes as soon as possible, okay, according to the changing needs. So because of this amendment, we are saying that our Constitution of India is not a static, it is a living document. So if there is no provision of changing or amendment, it will be like more or less like a religious text, for example, Bhagavad Gita, Bible, Quran. So it is not that kind. It is having a provision called as amending or changing according to the needs of society. So because of this reason, we are calling this Constitution of India as a living document. Okay, clear? And now let us learn about this Prevention of Cruelty Act, and let us see first which are the constitutional provisions which are talking about animals and to protect animal rights. Is that clear? So whatever it is important from UPSC point of view, you are going to discuss that only. So focus on this class and try to enjoy the class. Okay? Yes, now let us see here why it is in use. And first of all, let us see the constitutional provisions. So our Constitution of India established the duty on both the state and also on the people to ensure security and conservation of animals. They are focusing on ensuring of security and conservation of animals at all cost. So there are some articles like Article 48A. According to Article 48A, it is the responsibility of the state. So according to this Article 48A, it is the responsibility of the state to improve the strength of animals and to safeguard the wildlife of the country. And it shall strive to enhance the population of animals, and we have to ensure that they are protected from all attacks. So this is about Article 48A, under Part 4, which comes under DPSP, that is Directive Principles of State Policy. And next one is Article 51A. So in this Article 51A, that to G provision, which says that it is fundamental duty of every citizen to protect and improve forest and wildlife and to have compassion for all living creatures. And this one is Article 21. So due to expansive interpretation taken by courts, so already like there are many Supreme Court judgments, they came up and they are expanding this purview of Article 21 in every case. So even recently right to sleep is also a fundamental right which comes under Article 21. So here in the Supreme Court judgments, they are trying to expand the purview of Article 21. This is happening. So due to expansive interpretation taken by the courts, the rights of the animals, they are also protected under Article 21 of the Constitution, and every species they has a right to life and security in accordance with the law of the land, and this right is not merely limited to human beings, but even it is expanded to include within its ambits animals, birds also. Clear? And let us see some important key provisions of Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act of 1960. So here the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960. So it is the first enacted law for safeguarding the rights and also protecting the animals from pain, okay, which is mainly caused by humans. And next one is the act has established the definition of animals to include any living creature other than human beings or different forms of animals. So it is also a thing which mainly said by this act itself. And this act which also gave about offences and punishments, like in order to protect these animals from lifetime agony, pain, etc. So it is also giving punishments for offenders who cause unnecessary suffering and as well as cruelty towards animals. And this act which further discusses different forms of cruelty which inflicted on animals, its expectations and as well as process of killing a suffering animal where cruelty has been imposed, and even they are saying like how to avoid the further suffering of that animal. And next one is there are also some guidelines which are given for experimenting on animals, because animals will be taken under experimentation. So even in my family, so I used to use animals like white rats, rabbits and small guinea pigs and also like frogs to know efficiency of drugs, how they are working, etc. And even we had a bite on my finger when I tried to catch this white rat. So it was like horrible. Okay, so here in this guidelines, so this act is saying that so guidelines need to be followed by experimenting on an animal for scientific purposes and also exhibition of performing animals along with their offences. Yes, now let us see the last article, that is analyzing labor on warming plane. So this article is very important because here these laborers, they are working in scorching heat. Yes, those are the people, they are much vulnerable to these heat waves, right? So if you see the context here, International Labour Organization identified 6 key impacts of climate change. So what will be the negative impacts of climate change? Here we have excessive heat, solar ultraviolet radiation, we have extreme weather events, we have workplace air pollution, and even because of this heat there is also like transmission of vector-borne diseases and agrochemicals. So some more important details which are said that when it's come to dealing with occupational heat, the Factories Act which is talking about we need proper ventilation, we need proper maintenance of temperature in the working areas. And even this act which leave the decision to the states to decide what are the optimal standards that an industry can follow. And apart from this, these regulations, they were framed more than 5 decades back. So there is no proper updation. So this is the issue now. So in this context, we need some amendments. So amendments are required to address the handling of effluents and as well as byproducts disposal that could significantly impact human health based on temperature. So these are the important articles, and I will show you like there are other 2 important articles directly in your business page. Okay, so in business page, I will show you just the article. Yes, this is that article. Title says India, one of the key geographies affected by phishing attacks. So here this phishing is nothing but malware. Okay, so this is like cyber security issue or cyber security threats. So these are the things that you have to know from this article. Okay, so these are the important articles that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. So by this I am concluding. So before concluding, I will show you like where can you get the notes of this class. Okay, so this is Rathods IAS classes Telegram channel. So you can get the classes here, and I also posted one pamphlet regarding our offline foundation course. So go through this one. So there are key features and special pillars, and the batch is going to be started from 27th May onwards, and these are our toppers and these are our mentors. So our interview panel, who is containing like Maniappa sir, and he is like appointed as even Chief Election Commissioner, and he is retired officer. Okay, and other than that, there are 4 other mentors who are working as IAS, IRS and IFS officers, and these are our top faculties, and there are other faculties also who will be teaching like small modules like disaster management, internal security, etc. Okay, so this is our course, and you will be getting notes in this PDF format, so you can easily download the notes here. So do join this channel, don't forget. And this is our Rathods IAS Academy website. So do subscribe to this website. Oh sorry, like YouTube channel, don't worry. And we are also going to launch app soon of Rathods IAS. So I will be sharing the link of app so that you can join the app for the free material as well. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this class, and if you really like this class, hit the like button and please do share this class to your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to Rathods IAS Academy, and thank you so much for watching.